Now if it's a party, you know I slide through. Ain't watch me shine with no dime when I slide through. Hey bitch, I'm elevator.
Yes, sir! Home team! What's happening? Home team? This your boy, your partner, your ace boom coon, Blakberry Lawrence, coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta sports, Georgia sports, slash whatever the hell else I want to talk about preview. So glad to have y'all with me on a Friday night. I know right now over on Atlanta Falcon Nation we got Warren and the crew over there having a powwow right now, wrapping up. But we gonna go ahead and get the party kick started right over here with a special Friday night edition of the Rex Pit, and we coming at you late night because let me go ahead and get it. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that out. Cut it. We're coming at you with a special Friday night edition of the Rex Pit for a few reasons. First being Thursday night, when we usually had the Rex Pit at 7:30, your boy Blakberry was still out tricking and treating with the babies. And I must admit, I did get out a little late with the trick or treat. I know they say start your trick or treat around 5:30, between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. So to make sure the kiddies get back in bed at a good time, they get to the house, they get in bed at a good time. It's safe for going door to door to people's houses. But what they don't tell you is in Georgia, down in a little city called McDonough, there is a neighborhood of quite successful middle class individuals and families around a very Catholic church area neighborhood, and they do something quite extravagant with the entire neighborhood. And because it's such a vibe, they get the houses decorated and all the spookiness going on, and the whole neighborhood is involved for the most part. And it's a vibe. It's a real vibe, and it's gonna go on well past 8 o'clock. So I got started a little late, but let's just say I was fashionably late to the party, and the party really didn't start till I got there, and it was a blast. The entire Henry County population was at this doggone thing. I kid you not. But Thursday night, I was out with my babies. I planned to do my show. I thought I was going to get out at a good time. That didn't happen. Long story short, here we are today. Now, today, I was going to start around about 6 o'clock. But I got on a plane at 1 o'clock this afternoon to come to Hartford to see my grandma. She turned 99 today. And I came up here to Hartford to see my granny. I call her Nana. Came up here to see my Nana. And long story short, I wasn't about to start at 6 o'clock because we was with Nana. So here we are now, 10:30, and I'm still waiting on my brother to call me so I can pick him up from the airport. But until that happens, and even when that happens, your boy Blakberry is here live in effect, and we in the building. And this is a blackout show, and I'm going to explain why in a little bit. You see, the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Atlanta Braves are my three core teams that I have discussions about here on the Rex Pit. Now, of course, I'm a home team guy. Everybody knows this. It's the home team and nothing but the home team. So that's what I talk about. But we talk about other sports as well. One, I mean, other teams, of course, and other sports. But I have to, if I feel like if I don't say something about the New Orleans Saints, and I know, yes, they in the same division as Falcons, so of course we talk about them from time to time. But I feel like I need to talk about them a little bit differently tonight because it comes to find out they were hosting workouts for fans. Yeah, yeah, they were hosting workouts for fans. Workout slash tryouts. I mean, I remember a time when professional teams did that. I'm old enough to remember the times when that was something that was actually quite normal. When the neighborhood the trash man, the janitors, the teachers, the electricians, the mechanics, I mean the plumbers, whoever, the some bitch that don't know how to get off his mama couch and go get a damn job. All of them could just to go down to try out for the local professional sport team. I remember a time when that was a thing. I didn't know that with today's advanced athletes and advanced collegiate processes, I did not know that the level of desperation could still be so overwhelming for a team that they host local tryouts. Only thing I can think now is that this off season it's gonna be a lot of price cuts. It's gonna be a lot of price contracts being cut. It's gonna be a lot of players being cut. They finna take some money off the books over there in New Orleans real soon, and it's about to be a cleaning house. I would hope, because they've been, and this is something that I was kind of criticizing our Falcons about. Don't be afraid to say you need to rebuild. Don't be afraid to say that. Now I get it. For you want to make sure you're selling tickets. If you provide hope for the fan base, well, then if you give them that little flicker of hope, give them just that little flicker of hope that their team can get out here and contend next year. We just need to make X, Y, and Z moves. Once we make these moves, man, look what we did last year. We just been a few games away from 500. Look at what we was able to do. If we just move up, get a couple pieces, this team is back in the hunt for a championship. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But let's be real. We in 2024. People gonna spend money the way they spend money. The Atlanta Hawks have not been a marquee team for quite some time. And yet they selling out the arena. And no, fans are not just buying tickets and selling them. They actually going to the games. Whenever the game is, Monday Sunday through Saturday, whenever the game is, they showing up. They letting the kids stay up late on a school night just to go see the Hawks. They stand up late, knowing they gonna call. They gonna use that call out number for their job the next morning just to go see the Hawks. It don't matter. It's because it's something to do in Atlanta. It's a vibe up there, up in the State Farm Arena. This is what people do now. It ain't your team don't have to be winning. Now, in some places, yes, but in Atlanta, no. Your team don't have to be winning. And I know I can't use the Braves for an example for two reasons. One, because the battery, oh my God, just going down there is an experience. And then it's the Braves. They've they've been contenders for quite some time in Major League Baseball. It's unmeasurable at this point. I mean, you can measure it, but just saying off the top of your head. So don't be afraid to say you need to rebuild. Don't be afraid to say that. If I'm the New Orleans Skanks, if I'm them, I'm like, look, we cleaning house. We cleaning house. And to be real, there's no other way. There's no better way to say that. There's no better way to say that without saying it out loud, but to give a subliminal message. We'll host the tryouts for the Florida Saints. You think you can be a kicker? If you think you can be a long snapper? If you have any experience at all in the field of playing football, come try out for our New Orleans Saints. Hey, man. Hey. One thing I give this to that team, because I hate the fucking Saints. I hate them so much. I can't help but hate the city, but I really don't hate the city. You know, it stinks. It's a stinky place. But one thing I will say is that they are community driven. I don't think there's another team that's more community driven than Saints. And that's including Dallas. Because let's be real. If the Cowboys don't win those championships back in the 90s, if they don't win them championships, don't nobody give a fuck about the goddamn Cowboys. Let's just keep that 100. America was going through some shit back then with presidents like the Bill Clinton thing. Before him, it was this crazy shit with leading up to 1999, all this crazy shit going on with new technology that they was trying to put under wraps, and something to do with Kuwait and Korea and China, all this bullshit. But it was making the United States look like villains. It was making America, the morale around the motherfucker was just bad. It just wasn't good morale. And here come the Dallas Cowboys with American football, with a star on their helmet, winning football games. And you had characters like Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Deion Sanders, guys that got all this personality and they got this swagger about them. And they dominate football. And they make the game of football look, they just made it look like they made you want to play football. Let's just keep that 100. The Michael Irvins, the Deion Sanders, they made you want to play football. That's why they became America's team. The look they had with the uniforms, So, if it were not for that, Dallas wouldn't be shit. Wouldn't nobody give a fuck about Dallas, especially people in Dallas. Most people in Dallas, they not even Dallas fans. Dallas fans are all over the place. But if you go to Fort Worth, Texas, If you go to Dallas, a lot of them ain't fucking Cowboy fans. The Saints have are community driven. I got to get that to them. But, God damn, how pathetic. That's just fucking pathetic. Now, with that being said, now we can talk about them Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. In 2006, your boy Blakberry graduated high school. Stone Mountain alum. Took my final play, my final snap of high school football was me trying to recover an onside kick in the playoffs. And I just missed it. And I fucked up my goddamn stomach. And I missed the rest of the game. Around about, I don't know, maybe around about October, around my birthday that same year. Excuse me. I got a phone call from a friend of mine who has Falcons tickets. Now, at this time, I am a Falcons fan, and I pay close attention to my birds. But because I didn't know if I was going to go play ball again after high school, I'm fortunate enough to say I was able to go on to a JUCO and play a little bit. But my ankles just went. Anyway. It really got me back into game mode. Going to that game at that time. And something I remember, because I hurt myself. And when I was able to get back to playing again, I had already got that jolt because I went to that game and I got to watch the Atlanta Falcons whoop the shit out of the Saints. I was like, man, this was a good time. I need to get back out there. It took me maybe, I don't know, maybe half of my first year. And when I came back home, first thing I want to do is go to a Falcon game. It's the first thing I wanted to do. But being around the game, being around football, I knew that my Falcons was the closest thing I was going to ever get again to feeling that emotion, to feeling that rush of what it is to play, to get out there and lace up and strap up on game days, to breathe in the morning must of the air, to breathe in the high intense atmosphere. I knew that was the closest I was going to get. Part of my inspiration to succeed in life, and I don't know, some people may judge me for saying this, but part of my inspiration before I had kids, before I had a wife, was to take care of my business and be well off so that I can afford season tickets to go see the Falcons play. That's part of my inspiration before my family, before I had a family. Now, of course, it's them kids. But before it was, so I just wanted to go see the Falcons play. And I wanted to be able to afford it. So I wanted to. Every move I've made since I was about 21 years old has been to be well off enough to afford season tickets for the Falcons. That's how much I love this team. That's how much I love the game of football. When I talk about understanding the game, you understand that not only is there a what's on the surface description of football, there's a what's under the surface description. That's when we getting into the meat and potatoes of it all. That's when you are looking at the small, intricate details of football. That's when you're looking at every single aspect of the game that determines wins and losses. So I'm careful about who I'm explaining football to when I'm talking football to people. I'm careful and I'm reading who I'm explaining this to. I know that there's people that just turn on their TV on game day and they just want to see that the Falcons are winning. And if they're not winning, the first thing people are going to look at is what's on the surface. First thing they're going to look at is why are they losing? They going to look and see people dropping the ball, maybe. They going to look and see people not blocking for the quarterback, maybe. Running backs probably not getting enough yardage, maybe. Quarterbacks not connecting on throws, maybe. And that's all they going to see. Defenders not tackling. That's all they going to see. What's on the surface. That's about 75% of your fan base, in my opinion. I've never done excuse me, I've never done a census or anything on what fans are on what side of the fandom side of being a fan of a sport, but I would assume 75% of your fan base, they just looking at what's on the surface. If a quarterback missing receivers and they see that the score is we're losing, oh, this guy stinks. Get him out of here. When the game changes and it's evolving and you seeing more quarterbacks that can scramble and throw, the game's evolving. So when you got a quarterback that's not doing that and you're losing, and then when the general fans turn on the TV when they see that the team is losing, when they turn on that TV, what they gonna say? Oh, this guy, we need somebody that can run like those guys got. We need somebody that can run. The general fan base doesn't want to be taught what's under the surface. They just want to be provided with what makes them feel better about their team, winning. So when I talk about the Falcons and the Saints not wanting to just say we got to rebuild, because teams have done it in the past. Or we got to put the team back. We got to go back to the drawing board. That's what going back to the drawing board means. After the last game of the season, if a coach or a GM or owner say we got to go back to the drawing board, that's what the fuck that means. That means we finna goddamn clean house and we finna rebuild this motherfucker. Instead of doing that, A lot of teams just try to beat around the bush and just try to add pieces and make fans think that there's hope with the structures that they had, with the structure that they currently have. They just got to tweak it a little bit. That's the general fan base. That's who that is. So there's a means to an end. There's a purpose for everything. There's a reason for everything. So if teams know that, if GMs and owners know, we still gotta sell the general fan base hope by just letting them see what's on the surface and making them think that it can get better on the surface. We can't show them what's under the surface because it'll scare the shit out of them. Well, damn, we in worse shape than we thought. And it also sounds like a bunch of goddamn rambling because it's a lot of shit. So when I'm looking at my football team, I'm seeing a lack of pass. I'm seeing a lack of sacks. Not pass rush, because pressure is getting there. You're getting pressure. You're just not getting sacks. Now, on the surface, I see they just ain't getting sacks. Dad, once again, we ain't got nobody to goddamn get no sacks. That's what's on the surface. Under the surface, I know how to see that. Well, these edge guys not really using no technique. They just trying to win with their athleticism, play after play. And these guys in the middle not getting no push up the middle. They not getting no push. Well, why are they not getting any push? Well, a couple reasons. A couple of them are undersized. A couple of them are out of position. And a couple of them that's not where they should. That's just not. That has never been their thing. It was to get pushed. They've always been used for other reasons. Just to fill up, just to clog and fill up space. Jonte Rozier, what happening? Print Care 89, what's happening? What's good, bro? Share this out, Jonte. Get some more folks in the room for me, homie. All we talking about here right now is we talking about what's on the surface and what's under the surface when it comes to not just the Falcons, but when we're watching sports, period. Because when I'm putting this in perspective, I'm saying if you're tuning in to the Rich Pit, it's a couple things I can give you. I can give you energy. I can give you raw energy, unprecedented takes on my opinions for the game, the facts of the game. I can give you all. I'm very in depth and very in tune with everything that has to do with football. It's a part of me. It's a part of me. Sports, period. You put me out there on the basketball court with some young guys, I ain't about to run full court with them, but one game, maybe half a game, but I can provide sustenance. Because I know I get out there and I just know how to be technical. Hit them with some alleys. Catch me in the corner. I give you a couple 3-pointers. That it's about understanding the situation when it comes to explaining what's on the surface and knowing when to go in depth of what's under the surface. The Atlanta Falcons not getting the pass, not getting the results out of the pass rush that we want. They're not getting the sacks. But they are getting turnovers. Jesse Bates, the best since Peanut Tillman at punching the ball out. The best since Peanut at punching the ball out. And he's a ball hawk. Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons takes away whatever part of the field he's on. He takes it away. Watching them play two high safety and cover fours, it's been making me sick to my fucking stomach. Before Justin got hurt and couldn't play the last game with the hamstring, it was making me sick to my fucking stomach. They weren't utilizing their strengths. And for that period of time, we was struggling to get those turnovers from those guys. Now, because of the rare skill that Jesse has of punching the ball out, because of that, we were able to get forced fumbles and get some fumble recoveries. But the picks wasn't coming like they are now, because we had to switch things up and play single high safety a lot with Justin Simmons out. So you got to utilize these guys' strengths better. So now we're talking about what's under the surface. Well, why we been getting sacks? Why we ain't been getting sacks, but we getting turnovers? Well, I just told you a couple reasons why. So let's look at why we ain't getting sacked. If you look at the pass rush, if you look at the film, the edge guys are trying to win with their athleticism, and that is all. There's no technique. They just trying to beat folks around the edge, or they trying to beat them with a quick inside step. That is not enough at this level. You need to know some technique. The reason why TJ Watt is great is because he's going to make you think in the beginning all he's going to do is bull rush you, or he's going to try to hit you with a punch and snatch. He's going to punch and snatch you down. He uses offensive lineman techniques to win early. And later in the games, he started killing you with them swim moves and them dips. So now he got you all out of goddamn sorts. He's the best at switching it up on you with his techniques. And because he's freakishly strong and because he got a freakishly quick step, that just adds to it. But those are skill traits. Those aren't skill traits. That's just athleticism. That's just athleticism. So now when you throw in the skill sets with the technique, shit, that's why TJ Watt is a fucking disaster. He's a fucking monster. He's a fucking natural disaster. Every time he step out there on the football field, he'll fucking hurricane. That's why he's incorporating his skill set with his athleticism. When I watch Matthew Judon, when I watch Arnold Ebiketie and Agent Zero, when I watch them, I'm not seeing them try to use technique hardly. They're just trying to beat you around the edge or trying to beat you with a quick step inside. Or they just trying to wrestle you into the quarterback. You got to have some technique. But that's the problem on the edge. When I look at what's going on in the middle, they ain't getting no push. People mistaking pass rush and run defense for the same thing. When you're in a pass rush situation, everybody on the line is trying to get to the quarterback, not just the edge guys. Everybody on the line is trying to get to the quarterback. Now, if you run a cover two zone, and it's a Tampa, let's say it's Tampa 2. If you do run that, and somebody tell your one tech or your two tech or your zero tech, somebody tell them contain, then they might step in there and just fill a space and just make sure they don't let the quarterback come up the middle. But that's if they're given that assignment on that play. But in a pass rush situation, the entire line is trying to rush the quarterback. It's not a contained situation unless you're dealing with a mobile quarterback and you want to make sure he can't get loose on the outside or be able to step. He can't step up in the pocket if you getting that push anyway. That's with any quarterback, mobile or damn stick in the mud. If you're not getting no push up the middle with your front line, with your defensive tackles, if you're not getting no push, he can step up in that pocket and deliver a throw. He can step up in that pocket and find a crease to get to escape. He can dance around in the goddamn pocket and find a release to escape. If you're not getting that push up the pocket, up the middle. So that's the edge. That's the middle. The linebacker group, they basically just being used to make sure that whoever catch the ball in front of them, that they tackle them. That's all that they're doing. This is basic Tampa defense. And why the fuck are we playing 7+ yards off the goddamn ball in the slot? I do not know. For the death of me. I understand a cut like here and there throughout the game, but for 90% of the game, not 90, maybe like 80% of the game, I need to see that slot man covered 5 yards off the ball or less. 5 yards or less. That's how I need to see their asses covered. The whole point of them being in the slots for them to do it is because they're going to catch the ball fast. They're going to try to get some yards after the catch. That's the whole point of them being there. The outside take a little longer to develop unless you throw on a screen pass or unless you throw on a quick hitch. It takes a little longer to develop. But in the slot, man, we're trying to get this thing out fast. Why the hell would you play them 7+ yards off the ball? When teams are watching this on film, they're planning for this. They plan for when they walk up to the line before the snap, what adjustment they about to make. They gonna make if that man, if Richie or if D is playing a man 7+ yards off the ball in the slot. They already know. Oh, if he's 7+ yards off you, we better to this. Hey, run that thing quick slant in or quick in. I need a quick in slant. Run that thing in quick. Get it. I don't need no 6. I don't even need no 4. Give me 2. I'm getting it to you. 1, 2, bam. You get what you can get after that 1, 2. Because the ball coming. Get what you can get. You're going to be wide the fuck open. This is shit that's already planned. So, I think my brother texted me. What? We still waiting on one last passenger. Guess flight was late getting here. They supposedly coming from the other. Oh my God. My brother, he playing on that foo-foo. See, when you get them late flights, man, them late flights be on that bullshit. It's like the early morning flights and the late evening flights, like 6 o'clock or later, they be on that boo-boo. They be on that foo-foo. Try to get a afternoon or a midday flight if you fly. I done had my best luck with them flights. FYI. But anyway. So that's playing too far off your man in the slot. Even if you playing zone, you can play zone and still cover a man. You don't have to goddamn just let a man run butt naked 7+ yards off the goddamn ball into a route and get easy yards on you. And I get it. You just trying to set up the goddamn the offense. You're trying to set that offense up for the okie-doke because you're planning on getting turnovers anyway. Because that's basically what this defense is designed to do. It's designed to get turnovers. That's what it's designed to do. That's in some cases you can make the argument that the best way to get multiple turnovers in a game is to close on balls when they're thrown, or to close on ball carriers as they're running to cause fumbles and get interception. You can make that argument that's the best way to get multiple turnovers in a game. But I like turnovers, but I like consistency and precision as well. And if I want precision and consistency, then I have to be willing to just get stops and not necessarily turnovers all the time. So this is an opportunistic defense. The secondary is proving that. Jesse Bates proving that. AJ Terrell, D. Alpha. These guys are proving that, hell, Mike Hughes, who's really looking like the number one corner in this defense, that's how well he's playing. But it's an opportunistic defense. They just not getting sacks, but they're not getting sacks because of one adjustment that needs to be made. Well, two adjustments. Stop leaving the slot man so goddamn wide open in the slot. That's in the secondary. Up front, stop putting Grady Jarrett in the 3 tech. Keep Jerry inside. Keep him inside. Only put him out there when he running a stunt. And I don't care that they know he finna run a stunt. Let me tell you why. Because if you run the stunt properly, it don't matter if they see the stunt coming. It don't matter. Because running a stunt properly, you still penetrate the line of scrimmage. You still add pressure up the middle with a guy like Grady Jarrett. And it helps with the double teams that they keep putting on them. It helps with the double teams. But you got to run stunts better. I want everybody to go watch every goddamn game. Go watch every game back and watch every time they do a stunt. Matthew Judon, David Onyemata, Eddie Goldman, and Aurora. They suck at performing stunts. They are terrible at doing stunts. I haven't seen this sloppy of stunts ever in the NFL. And I mean that. It looks bad. They literally just standing up, straight up. They standing straight up trying to perform these stunts at the snap. Nobody's using any technique once they cross. One thing you taught when you performing stunts, if you the underman, your first move is either going to be a swim or a dip. You're not just stepping over. You stepping into a swim move or you stepping into an up and under. That's what you're doing. And it don't matter if somebody in front of you or not. Keep your feet moving and get your ass around to your spot and apply pressure. That's when you run stunts, to apply pressure up the middle. That's the point of the stunt. To catch the offensive line slipping and apply pressure up the middle. Stunts are not to get pressure on the outside. So why is Grady Jarrett doing that? Why are they putting Grady Jarrett there? So that's coaching, putting players in the wrong position, putting players in the wrong spot. When Grady was before the injury and when he was a little younger, I say he could get out there in a 3 tech or 4 and and apply pressure out there. He ain't got them. He ain't got them wheels like he used to, and it's evident. But he still is a technical prowess. He still has that prowess of a technical beast and that motor that you want from any player. So that's why he's still valuable and can still produce for you. Just not outside. Just not out there. Not in a 3 tech. No. I just don't see it. The best thing we can do is go back to a 4-3 defense with Grady Jarrett and David Onyemata playing as your interior defensive tackles. And Street and Aroro and Eddie Goldman alternate in and out. And that Smith Williams boy out there on the outside, I like him out there. Only thing with him is I'm not sure if I like him rushing the passer in pass rush situations when you want to rush the quarterback. I think you just need to keep AK and Harrison out there for that. He need to be hustling off the field when it ain't a first or second down. He need to be rushing off the field. Third down, I don't want him out there. Now, that's the personnel. Oh yeah, and Caden Ellis need to be on it. He need to play outside. Caden Ellis need to play outside. Yeah, Jonte Smithfield here. It's like he got fast hand movement, but like he good at knocking hands away. He good at that shit, and he's powerful. But yeah, he a little slow. A little on the slow side with them feet. I don't want him out there in pass rush situations. Now, that's personnel. Now, coaching. Let's make this clear. You have a chain of command in coaching, just like in any other job. The first year on the job, everybody is counting on the people that train. Now, we ain't talking about football. We comparing to on-the-job situations and regular day-to-day jobs. Everybody's counting on the trainers to train people up right when they first come onto a job. So when them people that's first on the job is fucking up and screwing up, who they gonna go to first? They gonna go to the trainers. They gonna go to the trainers. That's who they gonna go to first. In football, it's the position coaches. Position coaches have to make sure guys are using the proper techniques. Make sure they're not taking false steps. That's what they got to do. And I'm about to get to that, Jonte. In this defense, Jimmy Lake runs the defense on game day. In the Mike linebacker's headset, in his helmet, he don't hear nobody's voice but Jimmy Lake's. That's who voice he hears. Guess what? If Raheem Morris gives Jimmy Lake a look, like, Jimmy Lake will switch it up. This is true. Because he is the head coach. But what did I just explain? The first year on a job, when you're first on the job, the trainer is who they look at first, or why somebody's performing bad or why they're performing well. If this defense was clicking on all cylinders right now, Jimmy Lake would be getting a lot of praise. Why? Because he's the one running the defense on game day. He's the one calling, he's the one running the defense in the practices. That's who's running the defense. The defensive coordinator is why he got hired. Because they think that his defensive strategies are good enough for him to coordinate a professional defense. Well, what does coordinate mean? Well, that means to plan, to design and set up, to put in place. That's what your coordinators are hired to do. Especially in the first year, they have to show their worth. Now, when some coaches come in as head coach, they also take on play calling duties. This has not been the case for Raheem Morris on neither the offensive, defensive, or special team side of the ball. The coordinators have been given the assignment to coordinate and play call. They've been given those assignments. If a foreman at a warehouse job, if a foreman is given directions from the assistant manager and he's given the orders to carry out this plan. Look, this is the schedule, this is the plan. I want you to put these guys here. The foreman has to go do that. But on the floor, the foreman also does what? Orchestrate what the fuck is going on with that plan. So in football, whoever's calling the plays, regardless of who plays the fuck they are, who's ever calling the damn plays and running the damn unit is who's responsible for doing what? Making adjustments during the game. That's who's responsible for that. If the head coach has given them that responsibility and that assignment, that's who you have to go to first for when you're asking why is this not working? Why is this working, but this is not working? That's who you hold accountable first. This is a chain of command. It's a hierarchy. You don't just skip over the motherfucker that's telling everybody what to do. You don't just go straight to the goddamn head man. He delegated tasks. So when those people who've been delegated tasks don't perform well, you go look at why. Okay, well, I gave y'all those reasons why with the defensive line and the secondary. The personnel not doing X, Y, and Z. Well, who can make adjustments to help them do better at X, Y, and Z? The defensive coordinator, the play caller. If everybody in their fucking mama can see that you playing too far off the slot man on every goddamn play and leaving them butt naked to get in their route and catch the goddamn ball, if everybody in their blind grandmama can see that, then your defensive coordinator who's calling the plays, who's running the defense, should be saying, hey, Richard, slide your motherfucking ass up. D, slide your ass up, my guy. Stop giving that man all that goddamn room to make a guy to get in here route. The motherfucker that's in the headset need to be saying that to the Mike linebacker. We talking about adjustments. Who gives a fuck? Since when did it matter whose scheme it was? Last time I checked, most of these motherfucking coaches is using somebody else's schemes and techniques anyway, because they come out of a tree where they learned from somebody else. Most of them using somebody else shit anyway. It don't matter what somebody was doing beforehand. Oh well, when he was at Washington, he liked playing man. Okay, that was with those personnel groups. With this one, and on this level, he might be trying something different. There's no source to tell us. It's just Raheem Morris just telling Jimmy Lake what to do, and that's it. There's no source to tell us that. We go by what we know. And what we know is Jimmy Lake is running the defense on game day. So why in the fuck are we jumping straight over his head and giving him these theoretical excuses for failing at making proper adjustments? He's the one makes the adjustments. It's his job. It's his job to make the adjustments. And he's not doing that well. You don't just skip over the guy who's working with the unit every day in practice, who's coming up with the scheme every week. Just because he got to run it up the goddamn pole to get the okay on it, don't mean, okay, we just gonna hold the motherfucker that said okay accountable, and the motherfucker that came up with the motherfucking shit, we just gonna give him a pass because we think he's a good guy. That's a bunch of cockamamie bullshit. And for people that's trying to make those excuses, it's irresponsible. Because earlier we were talking about what's on the surface and what's under the surface. And we talked about the general fan base and the part of the fan base that know how to look at what's under the surface and analyze it, and who give a fuck about that shit. The general fan base could give two fucks about who it got to be ran by first, and who's expertise at this position. Who's expertise? Most people don't give a fuck. They want to see results. That's what they want to see. So when you tell those people, just look at the head coach, you simplifying it to a point to where the accountability don't get spread out. The defensive back coach. We got a defensive back guy named Jerry Gray, who's done an excellent job with the defensive back group. But guess what? He ain't telling them to move their ass up neither. That's one thing Mad Mike is right about. If we got all these secondary experts on this motherfucking defensive coaching staff, why ain't nobody pointing this shit out? Well, let's say why. After analyzing, like I just did, and like I explained before, the defense is set up to get multiple turnovers in games. That's the only explanation. Because one can argue closing on the football, whether it's in the air or in somebody's possession, is the best way to cause a turnover, by closing on the football. If you're trying to cover a man step for step, it takes a very special athlete to be able to get consistent turnovers running with a man step for step. You got to be fucking Flojo. You got to be Usain Bolt playing in the secondary group where you can run step for step with a man every goddamn time that motherfucker go in a goddamn route. You step to step with him. And then you got to be goddamn Michael Irvin and got hands of goddamn made out of Play-Doh. Where everything hit your hands, you gonna catch it. That defensive back guy don't exist. So one can argue that this defense is set up for you to get multiple turnovers in a game. And hell, we get fucking turnovers at an abundance. So are we lacking in the sack area? God damn it, yes we are. And it is a damn shame. But when you win football games and you look at the turnovers that you get, you kind of take it for what it is. It serves its purpose. The way this defense is ran on Sundays. Do I like it? Hell fuck no. I think Jimmy Lake need to get his fucking ass whooped, and somebody need to whip his ass into shape. And he need to make better adjustments in these games. But when you got dynamic athletes like Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, and you got guys that know how to just make plays like D. Alford and Mike Hughes and AJ Terrell, when you got guys that just know how to make plays, it masks your inability to make proper adjustments. It masks it. So, is it still a problem? Yes. Because when it comes to games that's going to really matter, that's going to really count, and we talking about around playoff time and in playoffs, you're going to need to know how to make these adjustments because teams are going, coordinators that got some goddamn know-how, they going to know how to goddamn set your ass up for the okie doke with those flaws on making, you don't know how to make adjustments. If you're gonna do that, and if you're gonna do that in the playoffs, you're gonna play off that slot man like that. Teams are gonna say we gonna make this the most boring goddamn game in playoff history, and we just gonna dink and dunk, or dink and dack now. We just gonna dink and dunk and run the ball. They have a hard time stopping the run, and they give up a lot of catches over the middle. They give up a lot of free catches. A lot of free catches under 10 yards off the ball. Teams are preparing for that a lot better in playoffs. See, right now, teams are still trying to not trying to figure out what they want to do, but a lot of them still trying to find that best formula for them in any game they go into. Of course, you playing for who you playing against, but everybody has a plan that they want to go to for their team. So if you're not able to make them adjustments, you got to. Let me be real with y'all. Raheem Morris, his job is to oversee and delegate tasks, and when he needs to, step in and provide a more effective strategy, a more effective game plan when he needs to. But he also has to show that he has confidence in the people that he selected to be in those positions, the Jimmy Lakes and the Zach Robinsons and so forth. He can't just disregard what they come up with, just because it's not working out exactly like how we all want it to, or even exactly all like he wants it to. If you got a 5-3 record, undefeated in your division, and you getting turnovers the way this defense gets turnovers, why would he start stepping on toes? Just because we ain't getting the sacks. The sacks, not getting the sacks, hasn't hurt us yet to the point to where we're in a crisis. We're not in a crisis from not getting these sacks because we get turnovers. Turnovers are a more efficient result than getting sacks. You're literally giving the ball back to the offense. Why would he start stepping on toes now? We got to make things make sense. Why everybody keep saying it's Jimmy Lake? That man Mike. Why everybody keep trying to say it's Jimmy Lake? Because the motherfucker running the goddamn defense. Stop trying to make everybody else look stupid because we see what everybody sees, which is Jimmy Lake running the defense on game day. Talking in the headset, talking in the mic and everything. Calling out plays and everything. That's who running the fucking defense. So that's who makes the fucking adjustments. You want to know what Raheem Moore's job is as the head coach? To oversee and delegate. He steps in when he needs to. He ain't needed to step in because we getting turnovers and we 5-3. Why am I jumping down his throat when I see improper adjustments being made? He's not the one making adjustments. Jimmy Lake is. He's not the one in charge that day of running the defense until he gives himself that responsibility. But he's not going to do that. Why? Because just like I said, the defense gets turnovers and we're 5-3 and undefeated in the division. Why in the blue fuck where he starts stepping on Jimmy Lake's toes after he the one that put him in that position in the first goddamn place? He has to show he's confident in Jimmy Lake's decisions. He got to show he's confident in Jimmy Lake's motives, in his strategies, in his schemes. That's why you don't jump down his fucking throat year one. Especially year one. I wouldn't jump down his throat year 2 or 3 if we still winning football games and finding ourselves in the hunt to win championships, but still not getting sacks. I'll learn to just deal with the motherfucking shit. We just gonna be a team that don't get fucking sacks. But we sure enough get the motherfucking turnovers. We sure enough holding teams under 20 points a game for the most part. We sure enough in them playoffs. We sure enough in the hunt to win a championship. I just learned to deal with the shit. But we still have to hold accountable who is supposed to get held accountable first. In the real world, you got people that's delegated tasks from people that's over them. When you go get on a job, you don't know shit about fixing a goddamn toilet. A foreman has to show you how to, a trainer has to show you how to do that. The foreman taught the trainer. The assistant manager taught the foreman. The manager taught the assistant manager. The vice president taught the manager. The president taught the vice president. You see where we're going with this? You got too many people you got to go to before you get to the head coach. Position coaches, coordinators, assistant head coaches. You got too many people to go to. Well, what's his? Come on, man. What's his expertise? The motherfucker got hired as the physical coordinator because they thought he was already capable of doing the motherfucking job. There is no time to learn shit. You're supposed to know already. That's why you got hired to be a coordinator. They expecting you to already have a solid game plan and already be able to make the right adjustments, regardless of the personnel. The adjustments supposed to be good. But that's that. My brother, he probably gonna be calling me in about another 20 minutes. I'm gonna start wrapping this up. Look, check this out. And don't get it twisted. Your boy Blakberry, I'm fully aware of what's going on around me. When it come to understanding what you seeing in a football game, it all bears down to just having fun at the end of the day. For the fans, for the players. When it stopped becoming fun, it stopped becoming something that you should have in your life. If it's more stressful than fun, get rid of it. This is football. When we try to make it more complicated than what it really is, that's when we find ourselves going down a rabbit hole. And ain't nobody on that other side to give a fuck about whatever the fuck you think or got to say. It's just you and whatever the fuck you got going on with yourself. And eventually people decide this dude is a head case. So you be careful. It's fun. I talk shit because I think it's fun. And because I don't think you gonna out talk shit with me. You're not gonna out talk me when talking shit. I'll cross lines. I'll do whatever. I have no filter most of the time. I play nice. But when it comes to what Jonte said, Moore said he's the reason AJ is getting interceptions. Listen, it's like I said, Jonte. The defense is made to get turnovers. That's what it's built to do. When we telling the masses, when we're telling them, hey, you should be doing this, and you should be watching this, and you should be saying this. It started becoming more of a social pariah because it becomes kind of awkward listening to you and watching you. I can't take for so much before I eventually just be like, Shut the fuck up. This shit is fun. If for play. It ain't that serious. It's like when I play, I talk all the shit in the world. Especially if I just knock your motherfucking head off. I'm talking cash money shit. And it is to get under your skin. It's not a defensive mechanism for me. For me, it's just it's just part of the game. I don't take this shit to heart. I don't get in my feelings. But when I hear stupid shit, I'm gonna say it's stupid shit. If you're a stupid motherfucker at the end of that, then you're a stupid motherfucker at the end of that. That's part of me talking my shit. Most stupid motherfuckers do get in their feelings. And yeah, I do know better than most motherfuckers. Part of the game. It's trash talk. It's how I stay in football. It's how I keep it a part of my life. I need it to stay balanced. I need it to stay centered. Being a family man and a working man ain't enough. And a man of God first, which is enough. But let's be real. This the real world, and we all sinners. And we all have natural human thoughts and feelings. And sometimes I want to slap the dog shit out motherfuckers. Sometimes I want to cuss a motherfucker out. Sometimes I want to dog walk a motherfucker. It's just what it is. So I need this. This is my outlet. So I put into it what I would put into it if I was on a football field. I talk cash money shit. It makes me feel better. It made me feel better to call people stupid motherfuckers and to tell them that they don't know football. I done been on basketball too. I done been on some platforms where motherfuckers say, everybody on here know about basketball. Everybody know how to play. Everybody on here know about basketball. Everybody on here know about baseball. Listen, I still know more than a lot of these motherfuckers, and I ain't afraid to say it. I know more than most motherfuckers do about this shit, and I will say that. And if you get in your feelings and get butthurt about it, hey, go cry to your mama. If she ain't here no more, leave that tombstone wet. It shouldn't be dry when you leave. Just saying. This shit fun. And I get a kick out of it. But I ain't gonna just let some stupid shit go by. Cause a motherfucker wanna be right so goddamn bad. The Atlanta Falcons. I share something with them. In my lifetime, I've never won a championship. I've never won a championship in a sport. The closest I've came to winning a championship, it wasn't really a sport. It was Science Olympiad, my 6th grade year of elementary school. I actually won the silver ribbon in the rocket assembly. It's close I came to winning a championship in my lifetime. So me and the Falcons have something in common. And I'm not talking about goddamn division championships. Who gives a fuck about those? Or conference championships. They mean nothing. That's like saying winning the SEC championship is enough for Georgia when we know it's not. You got to win the whole shebang. So I'm very invested in my Falcons when it comes to the support I give them as a fan. Ticket sales, I don't buy like I don't go to a lot of Falcon games because you know sometimes I can't afford the goddamn tickets, but most of the time I'm just cheap as fuck. But I share that with my Falcons. I'm very invested in them because I've made them a part of my life. I argue with my wife over the Falcons. She want me to do a last minute store run like they always do at 12:59. Can you go to no? What the fuck you mean? What's them words coming out your mouth? Go what? At 12:59? And the game come on at 1300 sharp? What? You want me to do what? We need some eggs. I need some butter. I need some toenail clippers. I need some conditioner. Well, that's why your ass got a fucking car and fully functioning legs and limbs. All you got fully functioning limbs and a brain that works. So hop to it. But that's what it is. But you still gonna go. You just thinking all that shit. You ain't saying it out loud. You just thinking that shit. But that's what it be. Them last minute goddamn even before showtime. Them goddamn last minute goddamn things they want you to do. I mean, them wives, boy. But hey, I forgot where the fuck I was even going with that. I'm finna start wrapping this shit up. My brother he should be touching ground here in the next few minutes. Listen, family. Listen, I want everybody to understand something when it comes to your boy Blakberry. I want you to understand something, okay? When I'm talking about the Falcons and the Hawks and the Georgia Bulldogs, when I'm talking about them, something happens to me that I can't explain. And I know I'm not supposed to let things like that, because of my faith and my religion. I'm not supposed to let those things dictate my thoughts and my body language and all that shit. Hell, them damn people up there doing. These people got all their window wide open. They up there doing some crazy shit in their hotel room. But when I'm talking about these teams, man, something just happened to me. I don't get like that with the Braves. And maybe it's because they done won so much. And with Georgia, I just hate that they arch nemesis is fucking Alabama. And it makes me fucking sick in my stomach that we can't beat them when we need to, but once in a goddamn decade or two. But I don't know why I don't get like that with the Braves or Atlanta United or Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech was one of the first games I ever went to in my life. My daddy that was my first football game was to a Georgia Tech game. Yeah, my first sporting event, period, as a kid was to a Georgia Tech game. So I don't know why I don't get like that, but when it comes to the Falcons and the Hawks and in Georgia, man, I gotta go to bat for them so hard, and I gotta rep them so hard, man. I follow Georgia State, the Georgia State Panthers. I really like what that program is turning into. Um, I went to some Kennesaw State basketball games back when my cousin was playing for them, and my, I had another cousin went to Georgia Southern, so I keep up with some Georgia Southern stuff, and I rep for the home team, man. If you out of Georgia, I rep you until you're going up against them dogs. I rep you, but it's one team outside of Georgia that I can't help but be a fan of, and that's the Yukon Huskies. My grandmother, who I'm here visiting here in Hartford, in East Hartford, Connecticut, she's 99 today, and that's why I'm having this late show because, uh, I didn't have a show last night because of trick or treating and all that went over. Uh, got on a plane this afternoon, came to East Hartford. I'm here seeing my 99-year-old grandmother on her 99th birthday, and she was a big Yukon Huskies fan, specifically the girls. So I grew up being a Huskies fan. I love man. I was when I was going door to door doing door to door sales for AT&T Uverse. We had a game night at a Taco Mac during March Madness when Kemba Walker and the Yukon Huskies won the national championship, and it was I was just as excited for them as I would have been for if that was Georgia or if that was Georgia Tech or Georgia State. I would have been just excited. I was probably even more excited. So I'm up here, man, and I think about my grandmother, man, and how good she doing. She being taken good, well taken care of up here. I encourage you, if you're watching this, if you still have an elder that you can go to and have fellowship with, pray with, talk to, and get that wisdom in that tutelage. If you still got them, go get it and soak it up, man. Go get it and soak it up. At 99 years old, I'm grinning from ear to ear up here with seeing my grandmother, man, just listening to her stories. And she go in and out a bit, but for the most part, man, she giving you hits, she just giving you gems. And as big a little sports fan as she was, especially for the Huskies, she still gets giddy when me and her are talking basketball or when we're talking about the Huskies or talking about the Tar Heels or Duke or somebody. She had this thing with Brittany Griner when the Huskies had to play Brittany Griner in the Final Four. She got this thing where she was saying that Brittany Griner. She was saying, I don't know why they letting that man play against them women. And she was in her right now. She knew what she was saying. But man, go and soak it up with your elders if you still got them in your life. If it's a grandmother or aunt, if it's an uncle, a mother, father, a friend of the family, somebody that just took you under their wing, it don't matter, man. Go get that wisdom from them while they're still here, because you just never know. And it really feels good to know that I made sure, you know, me and the family came up here and took this time to see her on her 99th birthday. Because honestly, we don't know when we might get to do it again. So Go do that. Make sure you go see your loved ones, man, and fellowship with them. We're gonna wrap this thing up. It's been an hour and a half. I just been running talking my goddamn shit. My cousin played football at Georgia Southern back in '08. Oh, for real, Jonte? Oh, let me see. '08. Was that when my cousin was there? Was that when? Yeah, he was still there in '08. Yeah, he was. My cousin was still there in '08. He didn't play ball there though. He just went to Georgia Southern. So when I would go down there and visit him, we would go to games and shit like that. But yeah, my cousin, he was down there in '08. He was a sports media major. That's what he majored in, sports media. So he was trying to be a sports journalist and all that, and got his degree down there. I don't know if he ended up getting it in that because he was there for more than 4 years, But once he got it figured out, he graduated, and I was able to go see them Georgia Southern. What Georgia Southern is? They Panthers too, ain't they? Or Jaguars or some shit like that. But hey, man, words to the wise. Go see your elders. Go see your elders. Soak up that tutelage from them. Hey, man, I appreciate you if you came through, if you watched. Thank you to everybody that watches after the live. At the end of the day, let me just say this too, because I feel like I need to say it. At the end of the day, we are all fans of this team. Most of us that tune into these videos, we are fans of this team. And regardless of our views on what this is or what that is, the truth of the matter is we all want to get to that same brass ring, that Lombardi, and we want to bring it home. We want them birds to bring that Lombardi home. And nobody's going to care afterwards. Oh, who was missing this tackle and who was making that tackle? Who was dropping this catch? Who was making this catch? Who was calling this play? Who wasn't calling play? Ain't nobody gonna give goddamn about that shit but the players and the coaches and the organization. They the only ones gonna give a fuck about that because now they got to see how they can replicate the results for the next season. And if a motherfucker was missing tackles, he gonna be out this motherfucker. If a motherfucker was dropping catches, he gonna be out this motherfucker. If a motherfucker was not blocking, he gonna be out this motherfucker. Because now the standard is set. And we might have got there with your sorry ass missing them damn tackles. But best believe you won't be the reason why we don't win next year. So your ass up out of here. Your ass is grass. Oh, they the Eagles. They the Georgia Southern Eagles. That right. So listen, man. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Getting the wins. That's what it's about. And right now, the Falcons winning. So as fans, we talk all this cash money shit all goddamn day about who finna goddamn, who need to do this and who need to do that and who need to be held accountable. At the end of the goddamn day, we winning football games. So in reality, ain't a whole lot gonna get done different because the result has been winning. We go out there and whoop them Cowboys ass. We go out there and whoop them Cowboys ass at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and be a 6-3 football team. We go out there and do that. Get ready to be having these same goddamn conversations next week. Because ain't shit gonna change. This been your boy Blakberry Rex. This has been the Rex Pit. Catch me next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because we back to regular scheduled programming next week. Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, sharp. Be there, be square. Catch us on the flip side. Home team.